Welcome to Miss Merton Muses. Welcome to Miss Merton Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. And today, we're talking about something that does all of those things and did all of those things, gives new meaning to the expression, the agony and the ecstasy. We are talking about Once Upon a Time, the amazing TV show that ran on ABC from 2011 till 2017. And I have with me none other than my nerdy home, aka Stephanie. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses.
Hi, I'm so excited about this panel and talking about the show. It's a secret love of mine.
Come out loud and proud. Don't be secret.
It's a secret love of mine. And it's not, I wouldn't even put it in a category of guilty pleasure. Like I not even like that. I loved this show when it was on. I loved it. I never missed an episode.
No, it was must-see TV on every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. People would watch it also from all over the world, often cheating, and get them bootlegged. It was an amazing time. What I recall about it because of its time was because it would give you something to be happy about during the week.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why I watched it. It made me so happy. Just these stories that they would tell. I had a smile on my face most of the time. I had a smile on my face. It was just such feel-good TV.
Oh, okay.
It really was.
Yeah, it was amazing. Okay, before we go on to our next panelist, I just Shane Nolan, because he has to go and he's over there in the Emerald Isle. Hi everyone, can't stay, bedtime because it's middle of the night. I added that. By the way, love the Nina Infinity Beauty and the Beast discussion. Oh, there we are. By the way, was worried about the Steph Carr stream. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Yay, you made it. Okay.
I did.
Excellent. And we have none other than Biggles Metz, or Biggles, just Biggles. Welcome to Miss Martin Music. Not Once Upon a Time. We get to star in Once Upon a Time. Hey, I'm so happy to be able to have you here. We all kind of found each other like Prince Charming. I will always find you. We Once Upon a Time fans, we got together, and I can't believe it's 10 years.
I know.
I started in the game late. We'll probably go over that later. But yeah, I like the show. I've watched it at least 3 times now. I even like season 7 a little bit, even though it's bad. I like season 7 a lot better than I like season 5.
Oh, season 5 sucked. Yeah. Maybe we'll go through that. It's like, you all sucked.
Yeah.
yeah. Season 7 actually did have some gems, but I just want to say hi to people in the chat. We got TD. Hello, TD. Oh, sorry. There we are. Shane Nolan. We got Maza. And for all of you that will be coming in later or perhaps watching in the replay, welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are about ready to geek out really bad. This brings me to my first question. Oh my gosh, how did you first find Once Upon a Time? Let's start with Steph.
All right, so I was kind of like Biggles. I did not discover the show until the Once Upon a Time season. So what is that? Season 4? Season 4 or season 3?
Season 4, they were all Once Upon a Time. You mean
I'm sorry, the Frozen
season. Yes, that was season 4.
Season 4? Okay. That's when I found it. At the time, I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and I saw a preview for, Frozen, Once Upon a Time, and I was just like, what is that? What show is that? It looks so interesting. So I went and I watched a few of those episodes, and I was like, this show looks cool. I like this show. So I looked it up, and it was on Netflix, so I started just binging it on Netflix. And from then on, just stayed watching the show. I fell in love with it.
Oh, wow. Well, that's interesting that you found it. A lot of people did find it season 4 because they did a big advertising.
They did, yeah.
Trying to get
it was. I saw the previews for Frozen for Once Upon a Time. Like practically every single commercial break when I was watching Once Upon a Time, it was. When I was watching Grey's Anatomy was Frozen. Or Once Upon a Time. Frozen comes to Once Upon a Time. It's freezing over. It was that. So that's how I found it. I was just like, what is this show? It keeps getting promoted over and over and over.
Yeah, Once is Frozen. That
Once is Frozen.
Yeah, that was one of those. And Biggles, how did you find Once Upon a Time?
Well, I saw an ad for it, but I was like, I'm not going to watch this. This is lame. And then I go to work, and this girl is talking about how she's so excited that Frozen is going to be on. And I was like, uh-oh. So I went and I watched everything up to season 4, like as fast as I could, and then I was like talking to her with it. So I used it to get a girl.
You used it to pick up a girl?
So that's how I started watching this.
That's a lot of work.
No, but well played. I say this all the time. Men, you want a chick? Watch something like Pride and Prejudice and take notes. You did it too. Well done, Biggles.
Find something they like and use it against them. That's my motto.
Hey, go for it. I am perfectly in favor of that. And if a man ever wants to dress up like Charming from Once Upon a Time, Josh Dallas, and blinks and blue eyes and say, I will always find you, I will not say no to that man.
See, I would say I would always lose you because I have a bad memory. I'd forget where you were.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, you see, that could also be a stalking kind of deal.
Now, did it work out for you, Biggles? Did you get the girl?
I'm not going into details.
Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive. Well, my story is really more melodramatic than yours. I find it fascinating that both of you came in mid-show, and I think that might affect some of what made it the impression on you, certain parts of it, because there's a certain shift that happened in the show in the middle, like after season 3. For example, things like Frozen, but we'll get to that later. But what happened to me was big sad sorry story. I'm not going to completely go into it, but I was a little bit messed up because there was a death at work. Like,
oh, wow.
My boss died at work, literally. And it was one of those shit days you have at work where you hate everyone, you hate humanity, you just want to go home. And it was just crap. Everyone knows that they've had one of those kind of days. And then I found out the next morning that this dude had had a stroke and died. And it really, really messed with me because my thought was, oh my gosh, that was that man's last day. And it was working overtime because there was a late meeting. You know how that happens. Mm-hmm. And being stressed, being mad. We were all mad. But that was his last day. And so it really messed with my head a little bit. And I was going through this moment where I was depressed. It was very dark for me. What do I do with this? It's like, what am I doing with my life? And then I was on fall break, went over with my mom, and I was just a mess. Oh gosh, I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about this because this is where Once Upon a Time changed me. My mom said, you're going to watch my show with me. You're going to quit. I know you're depressed. I know you're really having trouble with this, but I think this show's going to make you feel better. And it was Snow Falls, which is the 3rd episode of Once Upon a Time. I can see if Stieg were watching right now, he would be so mad at me for crying like a big baby. He hates women. He hates crying women. And I said, fine, I'll watch it. And it was so beautiful when Charming and Snow met. I just loved that. And then this magic happened when Henry was trying to convince Mary Margaret to try to wake up Charming because he was in a coma. And he was telling her about the power of stories. That this is your story. This is your happy ending. And Mary Margaret sits there and she starts to read to Charming. And when he does, that score starts with Mark Isham, the dun, 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 dun. And it was like magic happened. And then I said to then after that episode, of course, it was all romantic. I'm a snowing fan all the way. And yeah, after that, I was like, I want to see the rest of this. So I went and watched it backwards. I watched the pilot, which floored me. And when the clock moved at the end, and you just saw Henry's lights up, that magic is real, happy endings are coming. And then I watched season episode 2. So I watched them all in reverse. I watched the thing you love the most, where Regina kills her own father, like that she hates so much she wants to kill her own father, and she is so bitter that she lost everything, that she cursed her entire world, ruined so many lives, and how miserable is that? So you can see how it all fit together, and. It believe it or not, it got me out of my depression. It sounds petty, but I think back, it wasn't the show that got me out of the depression. It was what it represented, that there's still beauty in the world, that there's still fairy tales, and that fairy tales and stories are very powerful. And there's a reason why people used to tell each other stories. So that's how I got into Once Upon a Time. So,
what a good story, though. I can believe, like, if you say, like, it didn't really pull me out of depression, but I completely get it. Like, just the optimism that's in the show, and the hope, right? Because Mary Margaret's always talking about hope. The hope that this show fills you with. It's so, shut up, Biggles. It's so beautiful. The show itself is just a hopeful show.
Yeah.
It's such an optimistic show. Even like in their most dire needs, they don't give up. They never ever give up. You never see anybody just completely fall apart and give up completely.
No. And they don't even give up on maybe people that deserve it. That there were some people that did some horrible, terrible things, especially like Regina.
Yeah.
And Rumpelstiltskin. And that the character
and Zelina.
And so, oh gosh, well, yeah, Zelina, holy crap, yeah. And that they were able to not only change, but that the other characters were able to forgive them. That was very powerful as well.
Especially between Snow and Regina.
Yes.
That relationship is so good.
Because Regina, who's the evil queen, she murdered her father.
Yeah. And there's so much family history in there.
Yeah.
And
that they
That's
were
one fucked up family.
Oh, well, yeah, they were all. Well, fast forwarding slightly up to the episode Manhattan, when Charming and Snow realized that their daughter screwed Rumpelstiltskin's son and made Henry, and they realized they were all related, and they're like, wait, we're grandparents to Henry, and Rumpelstiltskin's grandparents, and then we're cousins, and this is the stepmother, and then you realize, holy crap, this is really messed up.
Yeah. It's so good though.
Yeah.
It's like, what are the odds? Is everything written? Because Rumpel knows all of it, right? Or at least he knows most of it.
He knew most of it, but he did not know that Henry was his grandson. Yeah, he didn't know that. But he always suspected it, I think, because he was always just so nice to him. And even when the curse was going on, that he seemed to be drawn to him. Yeah. Oh, well, loads of more people are coming in. OG's here. Thank you. Namans is a celestial construct.
Okay.
Right. Welcome, Miss Smart Muses. We've got Australia here. Nick McCabe, Darth Toriel. Oh my gosh, it's Toriel. I didn't recognize you because you were dark. When did you go dark? You're the most optimistic person and beautiful person I know. Okay, TD says, I'm sorry, Miss Martin, you go through this. Just cry. We understand. Okay, I'm glad you understand. It's like we're turning into a Barbara Walters episode here. Hello, fellow kids. If I missed anyone, I do apologize. We're going through this party pretty fast, but welcome. And please, in the chat, share, how did you find Once Upon a Time?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, but that's fun that you all are saying that. And the reason why I'm interested that you came in season 4, as opposed to me watching it from the very beginning, that it affected your favorite characters and maybe some of your favorite stories. I want to go into that now. What was your favorite character? I think maybe character is better to go into before favorite episode. What favorite character do you have from Once Upon a Time Biggles, and why?
Captain Hook. Why? It's because he's the best. If you say otherwise, you're wrong. It's incorrect. He is by far the best character. I think him and Regina have the most character growth in the entire show. Because when you first start off, all he wants is revenge. He even has a song where he says, "Revenge, revenge, revenge is going to be mine."
Mm-hmm.
That episode is cheesy, very cheesy. But I like that song, so it's okay. So like throughout the entire show, he's always like, well, villains don't get happy endings, and then he like meets Emma. Emma's like his happy ending. And even when it is in season 7, when it is Nook, as they call him, New Hook, even him, he's like, all right, well, like I was a fat old man, right? And now I have this daughter that I'm trying to take care of, and I need to be there for her. And he's always he gave up what he wanted to find what our original Hook had, and that was someone who loves him, and that was his daughter. And so even in season 7, where it's technically a different Hook, he was still the best the best character in that season.
Yes, I certainly do agree with you. I loved Nook, and I loved his. You don't remember when we all called him Nook?
I do.
Yeah.
It was because we wanted to differentiate it, but it's that Nook. I loved Nook, his relationship with his daughter, with Alice, and his friendship with Rumpelstiltskin, who is Weaver at the time, and the buddy cop thing. I think that was definitely the best part of season 7. Well, that's some. Those are very good points about that. I want to comment, but first I want to hear from Stephanie, because I think I also know who her favorite one is.
Yeah, my favorite one is Hook as well. I love Hook. I absolutely love Hook. Second to Hook would be Regina, and then Rumpelstiltskin. But I completely 100% agree with Biggles. While a lot of the characters after a certain point remained stagnant in their growth, they never failed to give Regina and Hook more character growth as the seasons progressed. And I really love that about him. What I love the most about Hook is, aside from Colin O'Donoghue's amazing performance in this character, even though he's Captain Hook, right? He's a fairy tale character. Captain Hook, Colin O'Donoghue just brings him to life with these small little gestures that he does with his face. His eyes just, emote so much in this character.
It's because of his eyeliner.
But with Captain Hook, when you first meet him, you can tell he's extremely passionate and fiercely loyal to anybody who he lets into his heart.
Yeah.
And he's extremely protective as well. And, I fell in love with that, from the very beginning when he had Rumpel's wife, Mila, from then on, when he lost her, he's just like, that's it. This is my focus, and nothing. I'm not going to move forward with my life until I get revenge on the crocodile. And then once he let someone else into his life, he still has that. He still wants it, but he lets it go because he's found something new to protect. And I absolutely love that about his character.
Yes. Well, I definitely liked Hook a lot, especially his growth between seasons 2 and 3.
Yes.
because I think that's when he grew the most, if you will. He had some very powerful episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Just the anticipation that we all felt. Gosh, I wish you were a fan at the time because you could have lived it in real time with us. In real time, because we knew Hook was coming. And then when we saw he was cast, and then we saw the picture, and it was building. When we got to his introduction in The Crocodile, episode 4 of season 2, that episode was amazing.
Yeah.
We were all, our jaws just dropped. Because not just
Didn't he get hired because I think one of the creators' wife was like, if you don't hire him, like if you don't hire Colin O'Donoghue for Hook, like something like we're getting divorced or something like that. Like she threatened. I can't remember. It was something like that. Like you better hire this guy. Like that's Hook right there.
I can't confirm or deny that, but it sounds like a good story.
Yeah, I could have sworn that story they said that about him. Like, that was always Captain Hook. As soon as she saw him, she's like, you better hire him.
Yes. Well, he was amazing. He was an amazing actor, and the antagonism between himself and Rumpelstiltskin was just it was just such a I can't even say it. It was just such a wonderfully crafted episode.
Mm-hmm. The chemistry between those two characters is incredible.
Yes.
It's incredible. Like even when Hook goes dark, right? And he's the dark one. And he's challenging Rumple, and he makes all of I love how when Hook becomes a dark one, how it mirrors his first encounter with Rumple as the dark one. I absolutely love that. And their chemistry is so good together. I think he has amazing chemistry with practically everyone on set.
Yeah, well, we always used to joke that Hook could have chemistry with a tea towel. I mean, that man, but man's amazing. Yeah, well, in the episode, The Crocodile, we see him, of course, before he loses his hand, and we learn that the crocodile is Rumpelstiltskin.
Don't you love that?
Yes.
The little spin on everything. I love the way how they put the spin on things. How the crocodile is Rumpelstiltskin.
He's also the Beast.
He's also the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
He's the fairy godmother. We joked he was everything except for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
He probably was that too. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, Santa made a deal. All magic comes with a price. Yeah. Well, and with the sword fight that they had, him and Rumpelstiltskin, and the composer, Mark Isham, told me that was one of his favorite scores from season 2. Yeah, I had the pleasure of interviewing him for Once Upon a Fan. That man is amazing, by the way. He's an amazing composer. The swashbuckling part of it, kind of that whole Errol Flynn thing going on. And then after he loses his hand, and then the first time at the end of the episode, you see the hook and it goes click. And he's like, to Neverland.
I love how he says Neverland. And then he moves. I love how he's always said Neverland. He says it with such gusto.
Yes.
It's so good.
And I know that Colin really liked playing that, especially in season 2, because it was so dark and very complex. And then you see him sort of gradually change. It was very slow and subtle. He has a bit of a Han Solo thing almost going on with Emma, where he's flirting with her and teasing her, and it's like, oh, when I jab you with my sword, you'll feel it. Oh yes. He said he was also great opposite Sarah Bulger, Aurora, and the Tudors. Yes, they all those Brits. Oh gosh. Colin, forgive me. He's not a Brit. He's from Dublin.
He's Irish.
Yeah, he's from Drogheda. I actually got stuck in Drogheda. In Dublin, because they had to put us up for the overnight, and they put me over to Drogheda. I said to myself, I am not going to be a stalker. I'm not going to be a stalker. I'm not going to be a stalker. He probably wasn't even there anyways. It's like, I'm not going to end up on the evening news. But I did get to meet Colin O'Donoghue several times. Have you gotten to talk or meet with him?
No, I wish.
Oh, I can only confirm this. The first time I met this man, the room literally heated up like 10
I
degrees.
bet.
And I wasn't even having hot flashes. I'm not even close. and the chick next to me, we were like, it's like, okay, you feel it too. That man has magnetism. I mean,
clean up aisle table.
exactly. So, you can, so the chemistry that you feel through the TV screen. And I also touched, okay, we're live. It doesn't matter. I touched his sweat. Okay.
Ooh.
Because he tried on the hook of a friend of mine who's a hook lookalike. They were playing around with each other, and my friend later said, "You want to touch it?"
Was the hook lookalike the one who just cosplays it as Hook?
Yeah, Tom Abode. Yes.
Yes, I follow that guy on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Tom is amazing. Yeah, I got to meet. I met him when I was in Paris when I was covering the conventions. There, the Givons, and he became a very good friend of mine. He is amazing, and he's hot too, by the way.
He is. He is a lookalike.
Yeah, and
yeah, he is a lookalike. I follow him. Like, oh man, as soon as I saw this on Instagram, like the Hook lookalike and the conventions and everything, I was just like, oh, I'm following you.
Yeah,
I am following you.
You're
probably the closest I'll ever get to Colin O'Donoghue.
Yeah, he actually had like lines of people like waiting to get their picture taken with him at conventions. And Colin was amazing with him. There's some stuff obviously we can't share because it was kind of, we didn't want to get it out and about. But all I can say is that he was awesome. And I think it was public. Yes, we were allowed to put this in the interview where Colin and Emma, the actress, she came in with him and he got to waltz with her.
Oh,
Tom did, yeah. And he's like, "Oh my gosh!" And she said, "You look very familiar, Jennifer Morrison." And so he got to waltz with him, and they all took pictures of each other. So they had loads of fun with it. So that's me talking about a Tom who's a lookalike. It's not even the real Hook. Okay, we're good. But I'll just say that man is hot.
He is hot.
Yes,
he is hot. He was hot back when he was in that band singing on a rooftop.
Oh yes,
yes.
Like, and of course his real accent is much better. I wish he'd almost kept it, but I can see why they wanted him to have a British accent as Hook. But okay, well that's Hooks are your favorite. He's not my favorite. And I wasn't always fond of the way Hook was in 4, 5, and 6. I find that interesting because that's when you all came in, because that's when his roles actually got a little less challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little more. He had already been transformed, and so he didn't have to do what he did like in seasons 2 and 3, if that makes sense. It was just so amazing, and then he kind of stayed where he was. A lot of that happened with a lot of the characters actually once season 4 hit. And the actor even said that he did, as an actor, it was not as challenging because he kind of he started to be a good guy then at that point.
Yeah.
Guys are boring.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I felt like his challenge at that point, once he flipped, was because he was, trying to Netflix and chill with Emma.
Yeah.
He was trying to kind of like prove to everyone that he was changed,
Mm-hmm.
that he was trying to prove to Emma that he's kind of worthy of her attention.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily fun to play for him because obviously, being bad is more challenging and more exciting. But I think that's like with Hook, where the storyline really doesn't include him much. But at the same time, he's going on. That's when you get like one of my favorite scenes was just like the date scene between him and Emma. So cute.
Yeah. And Charming was sitting there giving him stink eyes.
Yeah. You get that. And then it's interesting because during that episode, he kind of unknowingly, not knowing that like his hand's not really doing anything, right? It's just him and his mindset. And he's going back to his old ways a little bit, and then he thinks that it's because of his hand, and it's not. And now he's doing the bidding of Rumpelstiltskin with all of this tremendous guilt, because he's trying so hard to prove to Emma that like I'm a good person. You know, he doesn't want to tell her all of these bad things that Rumpel's making him do.
Yeah. Well, soap
So.
opera. Yeah, it got a little soap opera-y, and
It did.
yeah, well, the whole thing, I guess, was a soap opera from the beginning. Before I go to my favorite character, because this will also shift the conversation, I want to talk about my second favorite Hook episode, which was Good Form. Holy
Good
crap.
Form. Oh man,
That's my favorite episode.
Okay, we're overlayering some of these topics, but I thought it was because you talk about an amazing performance. Because again,
yeah,
this is what I was seeing as it was happening real time, and you had to wait between a week, and you saw something like Good Form, where we get his backstory and his brother, and he was this great hurrah for the British Empire, and then he turns into like Enjolras from Les Miserables again. Who will join with me? And they become pirates. Yep.
It's so funny because his brother is almost like Prince Charming. He's so he's like a goody. He's like, no one's trying to hurt us. No, we're doing this for the right reasons. This is all for the right reasons. And it's kind of like you could see why he treats Charming the way he does, because he reminds me of his brother. You know. So it's such a good episode, and yeah, it's one of his best performances, like especially at the end of the episode.
With his when he's holding his brother, yeah.
But
so we see there was so much transformation that happened with him. Biggles, since this is your episode, what do you think about Good Form?
I absolutely love it. So you find out that Hook is like not a drinker, and you find out why he drinks in this episode. It's because his brother died from nightshade. And it's just the story is like intense.
Yeah,
and you find it's just, and the acting is fantastic. So
he actually gets after people for having rum on them.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, everything, and the range of emotions that he goes through in that. Very, very challenging. Very, very challenging episode. Wasn't that also the episode where Hook and Emma kissed for the first time? It might have been. I don't recall.
I don't remember any of the kisses, any of that stuff.
Where they kissed for the first time.
It might have been Good Form. It might not have been Good Form, but it was definitely the same season because they were all in the island together and all that. Okay, yeah. Everybody Google.
It had to have been. It was because Hook saves Charming's life with the water. So
yes,
it is. Yes. Yeah, it is that episode. Oh, that kiss.
Oh yeah.
She just grabs them, right?
She grabs them and their mouths like suck. They're like suction cups. That kiss is so intense. Like I want to be kissed like that. I just want someone to grab me and
$50.
Oh. This is not that kind of show.
Intense. I loved that kiss. It's just like it's one of those take your breath away moment because it was such an amazing romantic kiss. And I like in the script it says Hook is shook.
Hook is shook. Yeah. Okay, one more thing before I go off. It's so funny. Someone said, you're saying all these things, Teresa, but you're saying he's not your favorite character. It's like, yes, actually, he is still not my favorite character. But the hookers, and I remember when the hookers started.
I love hookers.
Yeah, it was so much fun because I was there because all these interactions would happen before the episodes, and this was in season 2 when he was coming on. They're like, we think we should be called hookers if we're fans of you. What do you think? And he goes, I approve. And we all were like, hookers. We're loud. We're proud. We're hookers. So if you ever see #hookers, that's for fans of Hook. It's not for prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. Yeah.
I forgot about the hookers. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
I completely forgot about that.
It was so much fun. And he even said on one of the DVDs, I never would have thought that women would have been okay with being called hookers. But that was also a good fun time, probably before cancel culture,
Yeah.
where people we were still having fun on the internet. And it was like, no, it's fun, it's harmless, and it's a blast. All right. I've seen loads of commentary. I'm finally going to get to my favorite character because, yes, I love him more than I love Hook. It's Mr. Gold / Rumpelstiltskin.
Ah, Rumpel.
Yes. As a character, first only above Regina for the same reasons. Where he is from the very beginning to where he ends up at the end of season 7, and what Robert Carlyle was able to pull off in his performance of taking this coward, which is what he was, and then everything he goes through with losing his wife, and then he maims himself because he
to get out of the ogre wars.
To get out of the ogre wars because he wants to raise his son. It was like some big Greek tragedy because every time he tries to avoid something bad happening, he actually brings it about.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Yeah, it's like if I do this, I'm going to avoid that, and he still loses. He loses his wife, he loses his son. The episode Desperate Souls, when he meets Wormtongue, the actor who plays Wormtongue, same character, if you will, a bit, and how he becomes the Dark One, it was something he was also manipulated into. And when Rumpel says, why did you do this to me, kind of tricking him into becoming the Dark One, and he goes, I know how to recognize a desperate soul. Yeah. And that desperate souls are also dangerous souls. There was also a great deal of an addiction aspect to Rumpelstiltskin's character. I think we got a little bit of a sight of it when Emma went dark in season 5, and even Hook. They sometimes were doing things they didn't want to do, that it was very much like heroin was an addiction. And Robert Carlyle deliberately played it like that. So sometimes when he's around the knife, he'll look like he's about to get a fix.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
You can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Oh.
And then to think about it, though, the fact that why do you keep going back to it? Why do you keep going back to it? Isn't that one that's saying to why do you keep going and to get into heroin? Why are you getting this fix? And that it was an addiction. Well, remember season 6, he actually told that to Belle when they're starting to reconcile, and he was admitting his faults, his sins, he said it was all my fault and all that. And he said it's an addiction, and he even said I don't even know what to do about it. There's no 12 steps, I guess, for being a Dark One, but that was very much a part of who he was, and who he was for Belle. He was the beast, and truly a beast. Because is a beast really interesting if he's not a beast? Because all of these things made him bad, but these things still kept him as an anti-hero. Because we did still keep kind of rooting for him. We did know that deep down there was good in him, and that when he finally did overcome it, and he truly didn't overcome it till the very last minutes of the final episode of season 7, which they should have done at the end of season 6 and not done season 7.
I agree.
Yeah, when he says he doesn't think he's going to get to see Belle again, his wife, because he wants to go to heaven or something and be with her.
Yeah.
He thinks it's all gone. And then he says, I finally realized, because he's fighting himself, the bad Rumpel, the wish-rolled Rumpel, said, I realized that you don't do the right thing to get a reward. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Boom! And then he dies for Hook, gives him his heart, and goes to heaven and gets to be with Belle. So absolutely Rumpelstiltskin / Mr. Gold is my favorite character. Also the very special relationship he had with Regina, very much a father-daughter thing, which is why season 6 was problematic. But everyone, including the actors, hated that. Because they even told me they always played it like a father and daughter thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they were surprised as everyone else with some of the directions that they took. And I can go on and on and on about Robert Carlyle, but I'll swing back to it because it also goes in with my favorite episode. I think we've already kind of said about Good Form. I know Biggles was your favorite episode. What was your favorite episode, Stephanie?
Oh gosh, let me think.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I know, and I've been thinking about it all day, and I'm just like, my favorite episode, something like that. If I have to watch an episode over and over and over again, it's the musical episode, which is so incredibly corny and cheesy, but I absolutely love it. It makes me so happy. I love the musical episode.
Well, then that's the best episode for you.
Yeah.
It's like when you're a bartender and they always say, how are you supposed to serve the drink? And they say you serve the drink the way the person likes it.
Mm-hmm. I love the musical episode. And a part of it is because, the fans have been wanting, every time they do a panel, they're like, musical episode, when's it happening?
Yeah.
So like we've been wanting a musical episode for so long, and like they finally did it. So it was kind of like, yes, finally we're getting a musical episode. And it was great. I loved it. And I loved all of them. I loved everybody who sang. Regina's song was incredible. The only song that I did not like was Zelina's song. I didn't like Zelina's song.
Yeah.
It felt a
Evil
little,
always wins.
it felt a little out of
Wicked
place.
always wins.
Wicked always wins. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wicked always wins. Yeah.
Oops.
It got like it should have been dark like Regina's, but it went all like wanted to go like high pitched and like slow, and it should have been like Wicked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me try and find it, because that's I know which one. All right. It is the season finale of season 3. Snow drifts and there's no place like home.
Yeah.
Those 2 episodes I absolutely love. And it's just, Hook and Emma. Emma's finally seeing everything that she's heard of, everything that all the stories, she's a part of it now. I love that she's Princess Leia. She calls herself Princess
and
Leia.
he's Prince Charles.
And he's Prince Charles. They're dancing together. I mean, it's gorgeous. That's such a beautiful thing to have Emma seeing her parents fall in love, and while she's watching it, Hook is just looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
You see, and that's the episode that I think it was really clear that he truly was in love with her.
Yeah.
I kind of got the feeling a little bit before then, but you're exactly right.
He's looking at her, and if you watch him in the next season, right? Because even like the beginning of season 4, she's in there with Elsa, and he saves her, and he's like trying to knock at this ice thing with his hook, trying to open it. It's not going to work, and he's just like so incredibly worried. And he pulls her out, and they're at the apartment again. In that whole scene, he never takes his eyes off her. Mm-hmm. He's so worried about her, because it's like this person that he absolutely loves. He just wants to protect her. He won't take his eyes off her.
No, absolutely good point. I like There's No Place Like Home, not just because of that. Obviously, that was a great resolution to Emma and Hook when he tells her that he sold the ship to get back to her, and she kisses him. Yeah.
Yes. His home. He gave his home away.
Because Emma was now going to be his home. Yeah. But also there was beautiful, beautiful moments with Snow and Charming and their new child. Henry. I love Henry. He's one of my favorite characters too. It's really hard to pick a character that they're all realizing that they're a family. Belle and Rumpelstiltskin get married, and Robin Hood and Regina and Roland become a family. And that's what I like to end the whole series right then. We're fine. We're all fine right here and there, because then they ruin it at the end of the episode. And don't get me started on how they ruined Robin Hood and Regina. But that was the moment. If they had faded to black, they could have ended the series right then and there.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But that's okay. But that was a superb episode. Absolutely superb episode. And what happened at the end of the episode, I don't know. Something might have happened, but I might have blocked it out. All right. So how about you, Biggles? Maybe a second favorite episode.
So, because you just talked about endings before I answer that, I think actually season 6 was like the perfect ending if you would have took out the part with Lucy where Hook and Emma get married. But second favorite episode is Skin Deep.
Oh, yes! I was going to say that.
Ooh.
That's my favorite of all time, and I'll tell you why, but I'll let you talk.
I'm going to make this short because I don't know how to explain why it's so great. I just like how it's Belle and what Rumple. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. I don't know why. And like how different of a person he is when he's around her. And he's constantly like, no, I'm evil. I can't do this. And it also has Tom Ellis as Robin Hood and not the Robin that we have in the rest of it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, actually, no, that's the Lacey episode a season later, but that's okay.
Oh, I thought it was Skin Deep. My bad.
No, it was a flashback. It was a flashback with Skin Deep, so that's I think why sometimes people, yeah.
Okay.
I just don't want to get yelled at in the comments.
Yeah, they can yell at me all they want. Like
no one yells at my guests.
I can't remember anything. You know, I get hit in the head too much. But yeah. So just like the push and pull, like she's like, no, he's not evil. Like I can tell, he's just like corrupted by this power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can see that he's good, and she's just trying to like get him to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in Lucy or Lacey, you see that as well, even though she's like the Lacey character's wanting him to be bad. She wants the bad. So I think if you like rewatch it again after seeing that episode, it's even better. Yes. Tom Ellis from Lucifer.
I was going to say, yeah, he was before he was Tom Ellis. Tom Ellis. If you want to see a hot Robin Hood, watch Lacey. Yeah. No, you're right, because that was like the opposite of it, was because Lacey was the beast, and he was recoiling from that because he knew that wasn't what he wanted. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, everything about Skin Deep to me is everything. It's ridiculous. But to go off of your comment about how he was different around Belle was the first person that we've ever seen on the show that actually looked at him as a person, not as a coward, not as a this. And she wasn't afraid of him. And she truly fell in love with him. And he couldn't deal with that. And that was part of the whole other thing about his addiction. But, yeah. But Skin Deep, oh my gosh. That show changed everything. My partner on the Once Upon a Fan website, he had said it the best. He said Skin Deep was when it Once Upon a Time went from being a good show to a great show. It like ramped everything up. And it wasn't just Belle and Rumpelstiltskin. Everybody in that episode, it's like the show leveled up. I am a huge Beauty and the Beast fan. And when I saw the preview and realized Rumpelstiltskin's supposed to be the Beast, I was pissed. I didn't buy it. I didn't get it. And I even told my sister, I'm going to go home. I'm going to watch it because I had it on DVR. And I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to be mad the whole time. I'm about to be traumatized. And instead, I was blown away. Every single moment of that episode, from at the very beginning, when we see the traditional kind of Beauty and the Beast thing, and Belle decides to go with him, and everyone's telling Belle, don't do it. And she says, no one decides my fate but me. And we go to the present time where somebody breaks into Rumpelstiltskin's house, Mr. Gold, and takes something. And we don't know what it is, but it's for the first time since we've seen Mr. Gold in Storybrooke, he's losing his shit over whatever was stolen from him. So bad that he goes and he abducts the flower guy. He buys duct tape and rope while he's... That's one of the best scenes ever, because Charming at the time, as stupid as dumb David, is buying 2 Valentine's Day cards.
Oh my God.
I work for you very much. Yes. And while he's sitting there, and Rumpel's like, oh, 2 Valentine's Day cards. That's kind of dangerous. He's like, yeah, I just don't know what to do. And they're talking, and David doesn't notice the man has rope and duct tape that he's buying at the drugstore. And then he goes and beats the shit almost to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other time that we see him losing it. And he's like, she's gone forever. And it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. They were very concerned when they were making that episode because they were like, oh, crap, this is like really dark. And so they had to film it in a certain way when he's beating him that it was kind of, you weren't seeing it, if you know what I mean, because otherwise it would have not been okay for television or whatever.
Mhm.
But then, of course, part of the reason why he's losing it, and they're juxtaposing it with the Beast losing it because he thought Belle tricked him into kissing him to take his power away.
Mhm.
And then he loses his shit and is like, you tried to trick me. And then she's like, why won't you believe me? And he goes, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. And he goes,
no one could ever love me.
You've got it. We can quote it. Yes. And then, not to mention all of that, when Belle leaves him, and she leaves him on her own terms, he's like, go. My power means more to me than you do. And she's like, you know what? That's pathetic. And I'm going to walk out of here with my head held high, and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And he does, because from what he understands, she goes and gets killed.
Yeah, he thinks she's dead.
Yeah. And then we find out what's so precious to him is the chipped cup. So little Chip from Beauty and the Beast. It was really that's the twist on the fairy tale. They took just a cute little character and made it the symbol of the greatest love story of all time, where this man nearly beats this guy to death over it. And even Emma's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you, man? You're trying to kill him over a cup.
Now, you love Beauty and the Beast. I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Regarding Rumple and Belle. Okay.
Sure.
Number 1, what did you think of Gaston being turned into the rose?
I thought that was awesome. And then he has the nerve to go, oh, here you go. Because that's the Rumpelstiltskin. That is the Rumpelstiltskin. What am I trying to say? The imp. Yeah. And you can tell he's just kind of like, and then when Belle like snips the stem, and everyone's like, oops, there goes. Something else is getting snipped. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you.
And 2,
okay,
on their honeymoon, and they turn in to the classic characters. What did you think? When he just like
the Beauty and the Beast. Oh, are you kidding me? I went insane. And then we got the scene we never got in the cartoon, because right after that, the next time we see him, Belle's all laying in the bed. And it's like, yeah, that happens after a dance. Yes, that was amazing. And that was the first time that they actually played the Beauty and the Beast music.
It is, yeah.
And another part of that, the whole skin deep thing with the Beauty and the Beast, because everyone was a Beauty and the Beast in that. There, you had Mary Margaret, you had Charming, or David being a dumbass, and then you had Regina, how she was holding it over Rumple. She knew what that chip cut meant. She knew it was driving him crazy. And she finally comes, and he's like, okay, you've got it. Give it to me. And she's like, no, you have to tell me your name. And he realizes that he has to give up that he knows who he is. And he loves Belle. He wants that damn cup so much that he just kind of looks down and smirks and then says, Rumpelstiltskin. Now give me what I want. And he turns into the performance by Robert Carlyle in that episode is unparalleled. And when we were interviewed, I should say the owner of my partner, he got to interview him. Gareth Hughes and Laura Foster got to do a co-interview with Robert Carlyle. He told them that was the best 42 minutes of television he'd done up to that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And if
he's such a good actor, because whenever I see interviews with him, he seems so just chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just chill. And then you see him in the show, and he's just on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Exactly. And I mean, just for fun, I always rewatch it around Valentine's Day because it's a Valentine's Day episode. When you watch what he does in that episode, it's just it's killer. Of course, like all of them, he's a classically trained actor,
Yeah.
and he said that he would use mime a lot when he would be Rumple because he had all that makeup on. But also, he came from the streets. He came from the school of hard knocks, so he doesn't have that snobby kind of attitude. And he's one of the most down to earth men that I've ever communicated with. And he was always like saying how grateful he was like for the work we were doing on the fan site. Never said a bad thing to. He loved the fans. Let me put it that way. So even when you could tell that he maybe wasn't as happy a little bit with some of the stuff, he was always praising the fans on his Twitter and in his communications. He is the man. I have nothing.
There's one blooper
of
his that I love, and it's so simple. It's like the simplest blooper ever, but it made me laugh every time I would watch it. And it's when he's just lying on the floor with his eyes closed, and it's the box with the hat.
Oh yeah,
and they're moving it with a string, and he's just lying there, and he's just like, classically trained actor right here.
Yes. yes, love that, man. Yeah, so a lot of my favorite moments, favorite things. Skin Deep Day is still a thing. You can find it on Twitter on
really?
every year, February 12th. All these hashtags and everything, and we used to celebrate. The actors used to kind of celebrate and use the hashtag. One of my friends joked that I have a chip cup on my calendar for February 12th. True story, and you can find this in the This is Public, that Robert Carlyle donated the chipped cup to us for an auction, and he got Emily DeRaven to sign it, and he signed it, and my friend over in England, he was the one that collected it, and he was like, I touched the chip cup, the real one. So every time you would see the chip cup after season 1, we always called it Stunt Chip, because we knew we had the real one. And we're like, did you have permission to do that? I don't know.
That is so cool.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. But the fact that he did that for a security called With Kids. So if y'all want to know With Kids, go ahead and find it. Robert Carlyle, that's one of his charities. It's for disadvantaged kids in Scotland. Whew. I could actually do entire episodes on Skin Deep, but I want to go back to Biggles. I think that you had another episode you really, really liked.
Yeah, Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, yeah, Hat Trick.
Or Hat Trick, yeah.
Yes.
Jefferson is so awesome.
Yeah, he is. Jefferson is good.
He's like, listen, Emma, you're the savior, right? Yeah, I know all about you. Like, I'm the only one who has my memory. That's my curse. He's like, I can't get my hat to work. I just want to see my daughter. And then I think he's so like the whole thing is the reason why he has so many hats is he's trying to get back to his daughter. Mm-hmm. And
drove him mad.
He does at the end. He gets the daughter, I think, at the end of this episode or the end of the season.
It's worse. It's a season episode 3 of season 2.
Yeah, he doesn't get his daughter back until a while.
Yeah.
He waits.
Okay. I just don't remember. Like, I can't.
Yeah, it's okay. Partly because of contract reasons, probably. Because, and then he went off to be the Winter Soldier. That scene when he's reunited with his daughter and he's crying. Oh, my gosh. And you all dirty like my baby.
I almost got emotional there, but it didn't happen. It was close. It was close.
Hey, no, that's good. Well, I've cried so many times at Once Upon a Time. I can't even say which ones. And Mark, I want to welcome. One of my compadres from those good old days when we were Once Upon a Fan and all that. So good to see you. So good to see the old gang here. So many amazing memories we had. But there's a great line in Hat Trick where he and Emma are kind of sparring off of each other because she's like, they're not real. And he's like, yes, they are. And she's like, no. And he's like, is the Civil War real? And she's all, yeah, because it's history and it happened. And he's like, just because, something, it's like, were you there? Were you there in the Civil War? And he kind of is talking about the power of stories. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I forget what he's called, like, story. Tell me, what's the story? And then his other great quote from that is, the one about everyone's looking for a magical solution to their problems, but then they don't believe in magic.
Yeah, but then they don't. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good line.
Yeah, he gave some great lines, and he was sexy as hell.
Oh, he was. I like
Yeah.
how he was when Emma was rescuing Snow. He comes in with his hat on.
Yes! And then you see his neck is all cut off. He's
Yes,
all
because he's like,
Yeah, you guys all talk nerdy to me. And that reminds me of one of those. Well, and the chemistry between those two were real because they ended up hooking up.
oh, did
that
they?
episode.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they dated for about a year after that.
Wow.
Him and Jen,
Yeah, him and Jennifer Borson. Yeah, they were together.
lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was another reason why I watched the show, right? If you ever seen the movie Grind, she's in that movie, and that came out when I was 18, and she was a skateboarding chick, and she always had hats on backwards, and she was on a skateboard, and that's kind of like the girls I liked back then.
Oh.
And I was like, who is this girl? She's really hot. And then I would watch House because she was really hot in House.
Oh,
I can't tell you anything that happened in House. I just know she was there, and I was watching her on screen. That's like when I watch Two Broke Girls. I can't tell you anything about it. I just know Kat Dennings in it, so I watch.
Oh, her boobs.
Yeah. And note to self: if you're going to Google Grind, put Grind movie, not just Grind. I'm just saying. But yes, I'm looking at it right here. Well, and
it's a skateboarding movie. It's awesome.
Yes. Well, and then at the end of that episode, right, Biggles, that's when Emma looks into the book, in Henry's book, and sees himself as the Mad Hatter, and she has that look on her face like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah, and because all along she's like, Henry, they're just stories, they're just this, and then she saw him.
Yeah.
And he showed up in the book. Well, he was always in the book. Yeah. Oh, he's Mark Davis. They never failed Feeble Cats, And lots of guys like Regina and her heaving bosoms.
And her boobs.
Yeah.
Me and Regina have the same scar.
Really?
Do you?
Yep.
Oh, wait.
On your face?
Oh, okay. It's on the face. Oh, thank God.
I think it's right here. And I think on Regina, it's in the same exact spot.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. At first I was like, wait, is it on? Where is the scar?
Yeah,
I saw you want to see it? Nice. How'd you get yours?
Okay, story time. So Bert and Ernie?
Yes.
Well, I had a Bert doll when I was little, and I thought it was funny to keep running over and pulling down my dad's pants. I'm 4. So that's the funniest thing in the world, is running over and pulling someone's pants down.
Uh-oh.
And my dad goes, you better stop that, you little... And he's like, or I'm going to throw this doll at you. And my dad didn't realize that the doll had a hard nose.
Ooh.
So I was like, yeah, right. And I ran over, did it again, and running away, giggling. And then he just takes it and throws it at me, hits me in the face. I start crying. I'm gushing blood everywhere. And my mom's yelling, what did you do to him? Why is he crying? And I'm covered in blood. My face is all messed up. We had to go to the hospital and get 4 stitches.
Well, at least so you look like Regina, though. So it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. Yeah.
Worth.
Well, cool. How about you, Nerdy Home, Steph? I'm trying to think. Is there another, maybe a second favorite episode, or did we already?
I liked Think Lovely Thoughts.
Oh, yes.
When I saw that and I saw Gold's dad transform into Pan, I was just like,
whoa, yeah, blew your
what?
mind.
This is how, yeah. I couldn't believe that. I was like, no freaking way.
His dad is Peter Pan.
Yeah. One,
Robbie
I absolutely love the twist on Peter Pan in Once Upon a Time. I like that they made him a villain, which was really good. It was an amazing twist. I loved that twist.
He was always the villain.
Yeah, well, I think in the books he was, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, he was more creepy, I think. Yeah. No, but you're right. And then he was his father. I mean, how terrible.
And then he was his father. Yeah, he was Rumpel's father. And as soon as Rumpel gets there, he's kind of taunted with that doll. and you're like, what is going on with this doll?
Mm-hmm. And
You know, why doesn't he want to go to Neverland? Why is he so freaked out about going to Neverland? And you find out the history that he had in Neverland. I just love that episode because I remember that twist just had me like gasp when I watched it.
It was an amazing twist, and Robbie Kay did such a good job as Peter Pan.
Yeah, he did.
He's a kid, and he was holding his own, or teenager. He was holding his own as the father of Robert Carlyle. It was amazing. And when what was I trying to say? Gosh darn it. Once you found out that he was his father, and then you go back to the beginning of the season, again, you can't unsee it. That every time Rumpel was interacting with him, it really was like a father or a child in the presence of his father, you know, like afraid of his father. It's amazing.
Yeah, once you get those twists and you go back and you watch the episodes, like you miss so much watching it the first time.
Yeah, which is why it's so much fun to have so much rewatchability. I'd say my second favorite episode is Manhattan, and season 2. That's the one where Rumpelstiltskin is reunited with his son, with Balefire.
Yeah.
And they finally realize, of course, not only is your son, because Emma's like, yeah, this is my son. And they're all like, what? Your son, your father, and this? And Henry's like, what's going on? and then they all realize that Henry is their son, grandson, aunt, nephew.
And then Henry finds out that Emma lied to him about his dad.
Which is even worse.
Yeah. Because he's like, no, you're not my dad. My dad died. He's a fireman. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he died as a hero.
Yeah, he died as a hero.
Yeah. And then, gosh, the actor who played Balefire, he just looks at Emma and he's like, is this my son?
Yes. Yeah.
And you just see the emotion on his face. And then she says, yes. Wow. And
is that the same episode where Hook comes in and stabs Rumpel?
No, that's the following episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Manhattan was the one where,
I like when they go out for pizza.
Yeah. Pizza doesn't lie.
It doesn't lie.
And also Manhattan was the one where we see the flashback when Rumpel breaks his own leg and his wife loses respect for him and all that.
Yeah.
We learned the reason for that. It's also the first time we see Emma and Balefire, or rather, you know, who was he? I forget what is that. Neil. That was his name.
Yeah.
Neil, after he had dumped her pregnant in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love Rumpel when he's just like, you two, when he's realizing that they know each other, you know, and the way he acts it, he's like, you two know each other. You two know each other. How? Yes. I love his delivery on that line.
Yeah, he was,
you know, because he's normal. He's used to being like the smartest person in the room. He knows everything. He didn't know this.
Yes.
And he's just like, how?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the delivery of that line.
Oh my gosh, yes. Another great moment at the end of it is when Henry's all mad out on the balcony and Neil decides to go out to him. Balefire does. And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And Henry's like, it's okay. I know you didn't know. I know you would have like come and found me. And they just kind of sit there together and hang out as father and son on the fire escape. That's a very beautiful scene.
But you find out in a later episode that he does know.
No, he never knew that he had a son.
No, you find out later that he knew that she was pregnant.
Oh, yes.
August
tells him, doesn't he?
No, not that she was pregnant.
That she's in jail. No, August just tells him that she's in jail.
He never says about the pregnant because he didn't know she was pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah. He just tells him that he's in jail. And so he gives him like the keys to the car and some money, and August only gives him the keys.
Yeah.
Not the money. He keeps the money.
Because August sucks. And that's why he was being punished. He's Pinocchio.
Yeah, he's being bad.
Oh my gosh, talk about the rabbit holes we can go down now. We haven't started talking about Pinocchio.
Yeah.
We're going to be kind of wrapping this down a little bit, but the reason why I wanted to bring up Pinocchio right this second is my favorite scene, probably my top 5 favorite scenes, is when Pinocchio, August, knows he's probably going to die.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to be able to turn back to wood. I'm sorry, he's going to turn back to wood because Emma sucks and won't believe. And he decides to go visit his father, Marco, who's working in the shop in this garage at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
August knows who he is. Tony Amendola, who does an amazing job as Marco, just kind of looks at him and is like, oh, well, sure.
Yeah, he's
you want to help?
I can't pay you. He's like, that's okay, just an apprentice. It's such a good scene.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That is a good scene.
And then as they start to work together, it mirrors what you saw when he was just little Pinocchio.
When he's little.
And he says, my father taught me this.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I forgot. The feels.
There's so many just, it just tugs at your heartstrings. So many little things that just tug at your heartstrings. Yeah. Now, there is a moment in season 4, which is not my favorite season by far, but they managed to make the Ice Queen. They managed to make you feel bad for her, at least for me, when she's dying.
Yes. She redeems herself.
I started crying, like bawling for the Ice Queen. And that I was just like, oh my God, why am I bawling for this woman? Like just the way, I don't know the actress's name, but the way she's delivering her lines in that moment. She's just like, I'm happy. Or I can't even remember what she said.
Yes.
And I just remember how I was feeling when she was delivering those lines, and I can hear it in my head and how she's saying the lines in that moment. And she has Emma crying. She has Elsa crying, and they're just like, we can save you. I can give you your happy ending too. And she's just like, this is it. Like, it's just like, oh my God.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, I cried. I bawled.
I bawled in that. And then at the very end, when you see like her 2 sisters running, and she's finally like catching up to them, and she grabs onto them as children.
Oh, and it's the ribbons.
The ribbons. It's so good. Elizabeth Mitchell. Yes. Elizabeth Mitchell. Gosh, her delivery in that end moment when she's about to die and be reunited with her sisters. And she was just like, years ago, Emma. And now I can remember it. Now I can remember the line. She's just like, years ago, someone told me that you would lead me to my happy ending or something like that. And this is it. And Emma's just like, but you're dying. Like, no, can't be your happy ending, and like, she's just like, you don't understand. Like, I'm happy now. I'm going to go and be with my sisters. And
gosh,
I was crying so hard during that episode. It's one of my favorite episodes that just had me in tears. I mean, and like literal, I was just bawling at the end. And up till then, I was just like, gosh, I really don't like this season. Like, it feels like they're just capitalizing on Frozen.
Yep.
I wasn't enjoying the season. And then I was just like, holy crap, they nailed the ending. They landed it. They stuck it. I was bawling my eyes out. It was so good.
Yeah, I've always liked to think of the season of 4A like it's a mini series. If you think about it like it's a Frozen mini series, because then also you don't get too disappointed that some of the other stories aren't perhaps as well fleshed out in it. If you think of it as just a mini series, almost a standalone, it is a very beautiful story that they do. Oh, hey, there's Sending Brave Megatron. Yeah, another great moment to piggyback on that, before the scene when Anna and Kristoff thought they were going to die and they were in the trunk, and Anna starts to despair, and he was like, no, hey, look at me, we're going to get through this, because she wanted them to go ahead and do their wedding vows. Like, no, you're going to do the wedding vow. Yeah,
that's right.
And Oh my gosh, that was just an amazing scene. I thought that was very, very well done. So that was another good moment as well from the Frozen. Well, we just scratched the surface on this. We do have to kind of start winding this down. The good news is we could talk about this forever, and we just might. So,
Oh gosh, it's such a good show. I love it.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it now, it just makes me want to go back and just binge.
Yeah,
just binge it again.
And not just the show, but the memories and the friendships. Like for me, I made friendships that are going to last a lifetime from this. I got my best friend now, and my friend in England, because we were running for the Once Upon a Fan. We're all still together as friends, even though we're all far away. It's just so many amazing memories in the travel and sharing the stories and sharing what was so beautiful about Once Upon a Time together. It was like we were a bit of a community. We used to call it Once Upon a Family.
Oh
gosh, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not gonna cry again. I've already cried once. Mark Davis makes a very good point. They were never really able to match season 1's greatness.
I don't know. Season 3, the first part of season 3, I thought was better than season 1.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, Mark, because there was a certain magic and a certain thing about season 1 that was unmatched. I will agree. But I think that, like what you said about season 3A, the first part of season 3, when they were in Neverland, absolutely, that was amazing. And there were some amazing moments in season 2. But yeah, we haven't even touched on Regina. She's also another amazing character.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now I do remember like going to. It's so funny because I think Teresa, like when we first started talking about Once Upon a Time, I told you, I was like, I used to go to that website, like because after the episode aired, I would always like look up.
What crazy things we were saying about it?
Things that people were saying about the episode. Yes, because I didn't have anybody to share it with. I just like was watching this by myself, and I was just like, I wonder what people are saying. And I never commented on anything, but I would always read everything. And I was just like, yes, everybody, yes, you felt the same as me. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going crazy. I'm not going.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it was so good, and I remember going to different websites, and one of them was the Once Upon a Fan, different Instagrams and different Twitters, and I would always just look and read on everything.
Yeah,
because I absolutely loved it. Now there's I don't even know if you know this Instagram. It's Once Upon a Time in Storybrooke on Instagram. I always go to that
with them. Yeah,
I always go to that one a lot too. But yeah, it was that one, and then the Once Upon a Fan, and then there was also another blog that I just can't remember the name of, but they would always break down every single episode. And I was like, oh, I must have missed that. And I would go back and watch it again. And I would see all of the little tidbits that they would write about. And it was so good. I loved it.
And that was also what was fun about it, was because you would then rewatch each episode throughout the week until you were waiting for the next one, or like do marathons in between the different seasons. What is Mark says, I have Once Upon a Fan to thank for Twitter. You can take that either way. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But yeah, our account's still there. There's reasons why it's not active right now. Well, several things, but we did a hell of a lot on there, didn't we? It was loads of fun, and that's how I met you. That's how I met so many people. It was wild all over Europe. I got to meet people. Yeah. It was a fantastic time. So, Biggles, do you have any final thoughts about anything?
Final thoughts, or do you want me to do my favorite part, or one of my favorite parts?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Maxima culpa. Okay, go for it.
So one of my favorite parts is when it's actually in one of the really bad seasons. Season 5, I believe. Wait, is 5 with Arthur, King Arthur?
Yes.
Okay, no, 6 is.
No, 6?
No, 6 is
Jekyll
5
and
Stupid Hyde.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
5.
Jekyll
Okay.
and Hyde. God, I always forget about that.
All
But
right.
I do like the guy that plays Jekyll and Hyde, though.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
The guy
Hyde.
who plays Hyde is pretty awesome.
Hyde. Yeah, the guy that plays Hyde.
Not his fault. It sucked.
So, my favorite part is when Henry finally gets to like dance with that girl, and like that
Violet.
he was like, yeah, that he was going after the whole time, and he finally gets her.
Aww.
And then my other favorite part I think is also in 5, where the Nemo. What's his name?
Nimue.
No,
No,
Oh.
the guy from
2000 Leagues Under the Sea.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he's like teaching Hook about life, and he meets his brother. Is that 4 or 5?
That is season 5, I believe. It might be
Okay.
season 6.
I could have
Maybe.
sworn that. Yeah, that's later on.
Yeah, and he meets his brother and finds out that his brother's name is Liam as well,
Mhm.
named after, and like he like killed his father and left his son homeless, and that
That's right.
that he's like you don't have to do this, like your family and Nemo something.
Nemo.
Yeah, he convinces him that he doesn't have to do it, and they become really close as brothers. That was my other favorite part.
Oh.
And then
Yeah. Gee whiz, yeah. And that's such a good aspect too, that they never really let us let me rephrase this. They never let us forget that Hook was actually not always a good guy. They never tried to sugarcoat it or rewrite it. That was
Yeah.
But okay.
Speaking of Hook, when Emma had to kill him,
I laughed. I'm sorry.
did you? Oh,
I was like,
didn't.
do it.
No, I didn't. I was just like, oh my God, no. And the fact that he knew that she had to kill him, and he was telling her it's okay. It's gonna be okay. He's just reassuring her the whole time. And he like lived long enough to see her turn back into Emma with her blonde hair. And he like touched her hair, and then he died. Ah.
And then he said,
the whole sacrifice was ruined thanks to Rumple.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
I have
you
a
want to
problem
talk about a scene or a choice or whatever that I completely hated in the show, it was that.
Yes,
It was I despised that decision to like give Rumple the dagger back, and like,
oh gosh, yeah,
because there was so much progression with his character, and it's just like, really, you're gonna make him the dark one again?
It was ridiculous. You're exactly right, because he actually finally moved forward, and they were even starting to show that maybe he was still going to be kind of bad too, even without the dagger. You know what I mean? He might have been kind of a bit of badass, and yeah, they completely destroyed it. Not just because it made him out to be a dick, but it undid.
It undid
progress.
So much. Oh,
I was like, why the hell did I watch this whole season? Yes. I'm glad you agree with me. I was so mad. I mean, I was like,
I was angry. I was like, no freaking way. What is this? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was upset at that. It undid so much growth for him just to put the dagger back in his hand. And it was just like,
why?
What are they doing? Why? Yeah. What's the point? I hope this goes somewhere. And they're just not like, okay, let's just reset this character.
But actually, that's exactly what they did end up doing. And I think that there were several reasons why people gradually quit watching, because you could only take so many setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it sucked on so many levels. But that did give us a nice little sex scene. Sort of. Remember where it's like, oh, let's kiss. And then Belle's in the bed and all passed out again. And he's just fixing his tie.
What, you bastard.
I like how the fans started calling Emma and Hook, like, their stuff, making pancakes.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, because they were making out over pancakes. Yeah.
They're making pancakes.
All right. Mark has a point. Comment here. My final thought is: did anyone ever wonder why the villain would attempt and partially succeed at taking the blue fairy out of the equation? Was she that powerful that removing her was the key? The blue fairy. Are you talking about in season 4? I'm trying to figure out. Well, because remember when there was a theory that Blue was actually the villain of the whole
Blue
piece.
was the villain. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
she
do remember that.
because it seemed like she was manipulating Rumpelstiltskin into like getting the magic bean and doing this and just messing with people a little bit.
Yeah, and the actress that delivered the lines, even when she was like her nun persona in Storybrooke, she was always giving her lines like,
"I'm a bitch.
I do as I say.
Don't trust me."
Do as I say.
Yeah, and even when Tinkerbell, it's like, look, she needs her wings back and all that, and she's like, maybe not because I'm evil. Yeah, Biggles, were you gonna say something?
Also in season 6, they take her out in season 6.
Okay.
Because the Black Fairy needs her gone so they can win.
Oh yes,
That's
I remember
right.
that. Yeah, I blocked out a lot of season 6.
I like season 6. The Black Fairy's awesome. I like the Black Fairy.
Season 6B was had some really, really good moments. Yeah, I'll give you that. You say, oh yeah, Shady. Yeah, we used to call her Shady Blue. Shady Blue. Yeah.
I like when oh gosh, what is her? Regina's mom pretended to be Blue.
Oh, what a bitch! Oh
Cora?
Gosh,
I love Cora.
Cora's amazing.
Oh, Cora's amazing. I love Cora.
Yeah,
both actresses that they got to play Cora, perfect.
Yeah, and the Queen is Dead. Yeah, that was an amazing episode, amazing trilogy because it was like Manhattan, the Queen is Dead, and I forget what the third one was because my brain is starting to turn to mush. It was like, The Miller's Daughter. It was
Miller's
like
Daughter.
Yeah, it was a mini series because each 3 it had a beginning, middle, and then that climax at the end when Snow White, of all people, tricked Regina into murdering her own mother.
Yes.
How messed up was that?
Yes.
Snow White is pure evil.
Oh yeah, well, you see, we didn't get to that. Oh gosh, I do have to go. Unfortunately, I do because sadly, I'm actually having to do something responsible tomorrow and tonight. So I do need to run this down, but it looks like we've got loads to talk about, and I am so happy to see everyone that was here in the chat and all these memories that are coming up. We will do this again. We will do this. Maybe we'll just do 10 years of Once Upon a Time, and then we'll do 11 years of Once Upon a Time. We will keep this going forever. Okay, before I go, Mark says, Evil Snow is my favorite Snow. Yes. Yes. We will talk about that. We didn't have a chance to really talk about Snow and Charming and Regina.
Yeah.
I think that those are very, very important things. Little Red Riding Hood, that was an amazing twist.
That's why I kept watching the show.
I'm surprised you didn't bring her up, Biggles.
I did.
Yeah, she was definitely also pretty. A lot of people liked her a lot. Looks like Keck is suggesting a raid. Let's do a little bit of a raid if y'all want to. The Dark Council is on Abu Nas's channel. Yes, please go see that. They're going to be talking about something. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be awesome. Well, thank you to everyone that came in the chat. I'm just looking up here. You know, we had Mark, we have Keck, Stunning and Brave Megatron, TD with us the whole time. Many, many people. If I miss anyone, Biggles. No, you're here. And Frankenstein, which is actually an amazing name. We had Nick McCabe. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming out. If I missed you, mea maxima culpa, but I do appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to be doing more of this because this is magic.
Yes, I'm going to be doing a Twitch stream right after this, so I'll be on Twitch.
Okay, so you'll be going to Twitch. Okay, that was the next thing because I was going to say, where can we find you? Well, Steph, is there anywhere else we can find you besides Twitch?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, my nerdy home. And then Twitch, I'll be there 5 minutes after we end.
Yay! And then how about you, Biggles?
Final thoughts. Snow is the worst character in the show.
Yes, yes, she is.
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Biggles_Mets. And then I have a YouTube which is different than the one that I type on, and that's Biggles _Mets. And that's where I make all my content. And you can find me making intros for the full Aussie with Skirmitar. So you can find me there too.
Okay.
Oh, and my final thought, Prince Eric is not Prince Eric. He's nowhere near as good looking as Prince Eric in the cartoon.
No, he is not.
No.
The actor, though, is hot as hell. But they made him look as plain and bland.
So plain.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Okay, Kick says does not know how to do Twitch or Twitter links. That's okay. That's okay. I really appreciate y'all. We will find each other.
Yeah.
We will always find each other.
We'll always find you.
We will always find you. And not in a scary stalkery way either. Well,
100% stalker way.
Yeah. Yes.
Love is the most powerful magic of all.
It is the most powerful magic of all. Have a great evening, everybody. Have a great evening. And be certain, I don't know. Be certain to not just take a sledgehammer and break your knee. That just sucks. Okay, goodbye.